Hey everybody, happy Monday. It's John Furman here. You know, as we start to approach the holiday season, one thing is inevitable, and that is January 1st, New Year's Day. Do you know what the number 2 New Year's resolution is? I know, number 1 is weight loss or getting in shape. This is the house I built, I'm going to live in it just the way it is. But the number 2 resolution is getting your financial house in order. Now, what does that mean? Well, for many people, when asked, they'll say that, they want to pay off some debt. Good. They want to build a financial reserve. Great. And they want to live a financially less stressful life. Awesome. How are you going to do that? If you have the same job with the same salary and the same expenses, how do you all of a sudden add all 3 of those things? Well, if you're interested, I may have some solutions there. But today, my priority is talking about getting your financial house in order. Now, assume that you can do all 3 of those things. The most important thing most people are leaving off, and that is getting your will done. Why is that important? Well, if you're doing all of those things to create a legacy for someone or some people, if you don't put it in writing, the government is going to decide where everything goes. And that includes if you own a business. A will, we like to call it your final love letter. This is where you designate specifically who gets what. And you don't need a lot of assets to have a will. If you have collectibles, if you have a favorite thing, pets, frequent flyer miles, things that people don't think about. If something happened to you suddenly, where does your last paycheck go? What happens to your pensions? All of those things people don't think about until they have to write it down in a will. But in addition to that, the other parts or elements of that financial planning is your healthcare living will. How do you want to be treated in an emergency situation, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Some people say, no matter what, keep me going and we'll pray for a miracle. Nothing wrong with that. Other people are like, don't want any extraordinary life-preserving medical treatment. Nothing wrong with that. But if you don't spell it out, you put your family in stress because they have to try and decide. And they can't legally, morally, and ethically. Once you're 18 or older, if it's not in writing, there's nothing anybody can do. So whatever condition you're in remains that way until you pass. But you also need your financial and healthcare powers of attorney. Why? Well, let's look at a short-term incapacity. Supposing you were in an accident and were unconscious for days or weeks, or unable to speak due to a stroke. When you recover, are you going to have a home to go to, or is it foreclosed or you're evicted because nobody paid the rent? Financial power of attorney designates who does that. That includes your bills. I mean, imagine walking out of the hospital and to find out that you've been evicted or foreclosed on, and your car's been repossessed, and everything is a mess, and yet you had the money to take care of all of those things, but you never designated anybody to take care of them for you. All of those things. Now, there's really 3 reasons people don't get a will. 1, they don't think they have anything to leave. Well, if you have pets, collectibles, if you die suddenly on your job, who gets your last paycheck? All of those things are spelled out in a will. The second reason people don't do it is they find that it takes too long. Well, with Legal Shield, you can do it right on your phone, and we'll show you how. And the third reason is it's too expensive. Folks, Legal Shield can do your will and update it every single year or any life-changing event for literally less than a cup of coffee a day. And there are 100 other benefits that go with it. But today I'm just focusing on the will. You can literally, and I tell all of my members that I cover, next time you're at motor vehicle registering your car, take out your phone, click on the Legal Shield app, and do your will. You can literally fill out the questionnaire while you're waiting for the third day in a row to get your number called, and you will be done in 5 or 6 days. You'll have it in the mail. Just get it notarized and make sure the copies go to the people you want them to go to. But for those of you that are interested in setting that up and planning, I offer you a free estate planning guide. All you have to do is email me right here and write estate planning in the subject line, and I will immediately email you a complete estate planning guide. It'll answer all your questions, help you get some clarity, and will be the last piece to putting your financial house in order. So I wish all of you a great holiday season and look forward to seeing you in the next year.